Okay, in this video we will be talking about version control. So what is version control and how we can use it in our development process. So I will come here and I will show you that on the wiki version control you can read what the version control is, and what kind of different types of version control you have, and main key features in the version control. So what is version control in a pill? Well, version control allows you to control your code and different versions you had during your development process. So it's like a history, but it's a history that will keep you can control. So let's imagine you are create a new kind of feature, and then you create another feature. It's really hard to track for yourself what has been changed in one feature or another. So version control allows you to do some kind of saves in that system, so you can develop one feature, you can commit your code into version control, and version control will remember, and it will actually show you what has been changed in what file and for specific lines. So you can track it down back to the very beginning, and you can see all the changes there. It's very important to learn this, because if you want to become a developer, you just need to know version control, and there's no way to do it around it. This is just a standard. And also version control these days, they can be used for deploying application and other stuff like that. Also version control allows you to connect with your repository, your code on the server, and you can send your code from your local machine to the server, and it will be also as a backup. Or if you want to share your code with other developers in your team, you can submit your code. You can push from your local environment your code into the repository, and from that repository someone can pull it back to his machine. So we can also use version control for sharing code in between your team members, and they will have the same version all the time. So in our course we'll use Git. You have more than one version control, different system. I think Git is the standard for everyone, almost everyone now. So most of the time, if you will join any team, they will use Git, and that's the one of the newest version control, and it's most used at this point. So Git, as you can see, local branching on the chip, and that's been done by the same guy as done Linux. It's very well written, and it's quite easy to use. You don't need to use all of this Git options that you have. You will need to learn only a few commands, and I would recommend you learn Git in a browser for free. You have a little bit application here that will allow you to play with Git inside their website, and you can learn it in 15 minutes, I think. Yeah, so do that and try to play with the Git for a while to get used to it. We will be using Git in few places during the course, and I will try to explain these steps in more details, as we will be doing using that in real projects. In this video I would like to show you how Git works and what we can do, like a basic operation we can do with Git. So I have in my IDE, I have empty project. I don't have any files here, so I will create one file here, and I can name it test.txt. So I have this file here. I will put something here, something. It doesn't really matter what kind of file is that. When you program something in HTML, it will be HTML file or JavaScript or whatever. We have that file here, and this is inside our project. So in this IDE, we have a source control or a version control here, and there are no active source control providers, because when you have a new project, Git is automatically usually not included in this. Sometimes when you use CLI, it will also initialize the Git, but in our case we don't have anything here, so we need to actually do it by ourselves. So if you want to use Git, first thing first, what you will need to do is you will need to install the Git. So you have a download in here, and depends on your Depends on your operating system. You will install that on your machine, and you see I'm on the Windows now. I can install this version and I can use it. Once this will be done, I can go to terminal here and I can use git command like this, or I can also so if I will submit it, you can see here the git is available, and if I will do git version like this, I can see that I'm currently on that version. This is how we're gonna run the commands in here. I can come back to our IDE and also show you that if we do go view, I can have integrated terminal inside IDE here, so I can run commands the same way as I run in the terminal here, directly from here. So inside I am already in this folder, so whatever I will do here, it will apply to my project. So in here terminal, I will need to navigate to this project first to run the commands. In here I'm already inside this folder. So what I can do here is, if I want to use a git, I will do git init, and I will initialize empty git repository for my folder here. So if I will come back here and I have my I have my project folder here. You can see this is text, but you also have that hidden git folder. That hidden git folder is the git initialize this. So by default it is hidden, and it will store all the information I've changed in my code in there. So if you want to get rid of it, you can remove the folder and the git will be gone from there. In here we have already one changes there, because we initialize the git. Git doesn't know about this file yet, so we have few steps that we need to tell git or add this to the git. So another command that whenever you create another file, let me come back here and I will create one more file, test2, and so I can do it. It's HTML. It doesn't really matter, as you can see here, what type of file is that. I will save it, and in here Git recognize that I have two different files. What I can also do here is I can do git status and git status here, and you can see here that it recognizes these two files here, and he also tell me, okay, you need to do git add to track these files with git. So he knows that those files are not in a git, they will need to be added, and he can track it. So what we can do is we can do git add and add the dot, that means add everything in this project. So I can do this and they will be added. As you can see here, IDE already automatically update this and they are added. You can see minus here before we go to C+. If you don't want to use the command like this, you can also can come here and do plus here or any specific here, and it will do the same for you. So you can use it either terminal or user interface here. And the last thing what we'll need to do, and if I will go git status now, you can see here they are green at the moment, so they are tracked with a git, our two files, but they haven't been committed yet. So what you need to do is, you don't have any commits, and by your default branch, I will talk about the branch in a second, you don't have any commits. So what you can do here is you can commit in here git commit, and then you will pass message for this commit, and the pass message is for you or for your team members what actually is included in that commit. So what I can say here, first commit here, and if I will click enter, two files has been changed and they have been added to git. The git you see here, there's nothing changed here, and all of them are white in here. If I will do some changes there and I will save it like this, you can see this has become a different color, and also it can see that my changes there has been done. So what you can do, you can add it here. You can say changes in HTML and then you can also commit it from here. So you commit it, all is done, and you have that. So you can use user interface, and you can also use terminal. It's really up to you. And while you will be working and progressing with your project, you will also commit. You should also commit things to the Git and save it. And another option that you will have, and I will be talking about that later in the course, is repository. So whatever you do here, you track the changes, but you track changes locally. If you want to send the changes to the server, to a repository, you will need to also do git push, and you will push it to your repository once you will add it. But I will do that later in the course. In here, you can see here we are on the branch master. So you can see here branch master. You can create a new branch there or from the terminal. Let's say we'll create a new branch, and the branch will be new. I think we need to do like this, new feature, and I can create new branch feature. And at this moment I am on the new branch. So what is branch? Branch is something that you don't need to have all your code in one, I would say it's not place, but in one line. So branching is, if you go to their website here, you can see that kind of diagram here. It's what is. So imagine this red line is one branch, but if you want to develop something experimental, new feature, what you can do is you create a new branch, you develop something in here, and then you can merge it back to your main branch. So this branch might be the branch that you will use it on your production server, that you will give it to customer. Whatever you're developing something extra, you want to test it, you create a new branch. So this one will be stable and untouched, and once you can prove it this is working, you can merge the code back to the master branch and you will use it. And you have techniques like this. So branch are very important part of the version control. They will allow you to control your code better, and you can do like this. So if you, let's say, do more changes here, changes in branch, and if I will save this file here, like you can see here, well, like you see here, I have the changes. So what I can do is I will add this. I'm currently in this branch, so I will add it inside branch here. I will commit it, and no changes there. If I will come back to to my master branch, you can see the changes from a different branch, they're not here. I can also do git checkout here. Git checkout is a way to switch in between the branches, and new feature was my branch, so I can git checkout branch, and you can see my changes are here. So depends on the branch, you might have a different version of your software. What I can do here is I can switch back to master, and I can say, okay, I would like to get my changes from my new feature into master. So what I can do is I can do git merge, and then I can do a new feature branch, and I will merge changes from this new feature branch into my master. And now I have all the changes. As you can see here, I'm in master, and I have all the changes from other branch. Well, that's it for introduction to Git, and there's a lot more to cover in here. I would recommend you to go try and explore Git options you have. We're not going to use anything more complicated than we had in this feature. We'll use it a lot inside during this course, but it's very important to know basic commands in Git, because that's just essential for development.